Welcome to the Fully Involved Podcast. This is episode 4. On today's show, we have Julian Serrano. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm always honored to be able to talk with somebody who is very like-minded and just share my message and hopefully bring some wisdom to somebody else.
So how did you get into the fire service? Are you a first-generation firefighter? Or?
So, yes, I'm a first-generation firefighter. My godfather, my dad's best friend, has always been in the fire service. His dad coincidentally worked for Miami-Dade, and just growing up, I would always see him in the chief role. I would always see him in the buggy. I would always see him dressed to the nines, and the way he carried himself was something I admired immensely. Obviously, as a little kid seeing fire trucks, it was awesome. But it wasn't until one day he picked me up from school, and we were heading home. A structure fire dropped, and this was the type of individual who would jump a fire no matter where it was, right? He was all in all the time. And he looked at me, he's like, hey, put your seatbelt on. We're going to this fire. Mind you, we're supposed to be going home, pick up the boat, and go fishing. So we're heading to this fire. We get there. We get on scene. I'm like, hey, can I get out? He's like, of course. Don't ask stupid questions. So I get out of the car, and working fire. Guys are going to work. He takes command. And I just witnessed the heroism and the bravery of no thinking, just action, right? Just doing work, just knowing what the job is and just getting to it. As a kid, I was like, man, this is pretty crazy. I mean, you got a lot of fire. You got things exploding, right? The carport was on fire, so the car was fully involved. You've got things off gassing and stuff like that. So all these noises, and it didn't detour these guys from doing their job, right? And that just goes to show you trained individuals knowing what needs to be done and getting it done. And from that moment forward, I was, I think 10 or 11, I was like, I want to be a firefighter. So fast forward to high school, I was playing football. I was decent, nothing crazy, but I had size on me, so had a lot of colleges that wanted me to come play. And every one of them, I would tell them, no, I just want to be a fireman. Like that's my answer. I just want to be a fireman. So we're looking at senior year, grades aren't hot, right? We're just not good at all. And GPA is not on track to graduate. And
so like me, mine was in the gutter.
Yeah, so coach came to me and said, hey, we got to get your grades right for college. I said, no, coach, you don't understand. I'm not going to college. I want to be a fireman, right? And just ignorant to understanding that education is important no matter what career path you go into. I barely graduated high school and then struggled to get into EMT school because I had to take all of these tests for them to assess my knowledge so I could actually start EMT school. So it bit me in the ass having that mindset and not putting enough work ethic towards my grades. But we eventually became a firefighter. So
awesome. Where'd you go to fire college? Locally, or did you have to go out of town?
No, I went to the Florida State Fire College.
Okay. I think everybody went. I got lucky and I got into BFA, class 146. How was your experience looking for a job? Was it easy to find a job, or how long did it take you to actually get hired on the fire department?
So real quick, it was never easy. When I finished my football season, I broke my ankle, gained about 80 pounds, and was very overweight, right? I was not the person you see today. I went up to Florida State Fire College, was quickly humbled to find out I was not mentally or physically capable to be a firefighter. I failed out of that program and was sent home because of the standard that they have. And when I got home, my dad, and this is how much leadership is important from a household perspective, gave me 3 options. Go back, go to the military, or get a job. There was no discussion about that. There was no option to basically be a nobody, right? And in my life, to that point, I always wanted to be somebody special, but I didn't understand the work required, right? I just figured, hey, I want to be special, and that was enough, and it's not enough, right? So we fast forward. I train my ass off. I go back to Florida State. 2 weeks from graduation, I'm doing very well. We get recruited in fire school by Marion County Fire Rescue. They had a very high attrition rate because of the pay, and that was around the time 2012, 2013, where nobody down here was hiring if you weren't a medic with experience. So I looked at my buddy and I said, hey, the first thing the chief said to us in class was, we don't make much money, but we fight fire and we cut people out of cars frequently. So I said, that's what we want. There's no brainer.
Done.
And so I got hired with Marion County a week after fire school.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it was earned, very earned. That was a department's process that was very treacherous. It was just because they didn't make much money did not mean that they didn't have a very high standard in what they expected with the product that was coming in. And it goes to show their firefighters are very well trained and have a good mindset across the county.
Right. So you have to do another fire college or type of rookie training with them?
No, it was 8 weeks.
Oh, 8 weeks. That's not too bad.
No, it was not another fire academy, but it was treacherous.
You had to earn it.
Yeah, well, we started in mid-June. So
summer months.
Yeah, summer months in Ocala. The weather's humid, it's hot, and we lost 6 people throughout that process. We hired 20, so we finished with 14, and it was treacherous. But everything we did was led by individuals that were like-minded and that, understood we have a standard and we're not going to lower it for you or anybody else.
Can you say that again?
We have a standard.
Can you say that again? Because it almost feels like the standard is always being lowered. And I'm like, no, we need to raise the standard. It has to be risen. It can't be lowered to the minimum standard. The expectation is there's a standard and we can't lower it.
Well, the thing is that we have to understand that when you lower the standard in this profession, you are not lowering the quality of service the citizens are getting. You're not lowering how easy it is. You're not lowering how many people you have on the job. You're not lowering how many people are happy versus sad or disgruntled. You are directly impacting your community's level of service when you lower the standard.
100%. And how long were you in Marion County before you moved on? You went to
around 5.5 years.
Okay. And how long was Palm Beach County your current department now? Was that your second department, or did you go to another department for your?
No, Palm Beach County was the landing point that I chose, and because of opportunity is why I chose Palm Beach County.
And how long you been there?
We're coming up on 5 years.
Okay. How's it working out so far?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's been a rough road. It's been a rough road. I have struggled personally due to the fact of not accepting that every place, every department that you go to is different, right? And you need to adapt and understand that you can change the department with time, right?
Yes.
I'm a very impatient person, and I'm growing day by day to work on my patience, work on the ability to plant a seed and watch it grow over 10 to 15, 20 years. Not plant a seed, drown it in water, and then kill that seed, right? And that's what I've struggled with and I've done. So now I'm on the path of repair, right? I look at my life of fixing the things that I've done wrong and being better, right? Eliminating the script of this is what he's done to this is who he is, and he's made mistakes, and he's the exact example of a person who is always in control of their life, right? You can't control the mistakes, the failures, all that stuff. That's just life, right? What you can't control is your future self. Exactly. And if you keep hitting yourself against the wall, that's your doing, nobody else's, right? So I think I put myself in a position where I need to prove to the world and my fire department that I'm worthy, that I earn that patch every day, that on somebody's worst day or somebody's day that they need help at work or on scene of a call. When I mean at work is for my brothers and sisters, that I'm reliable, I'm dependable, and that I am enough. So.
Right. Any future plans? Are you an officer? Are you planning on promoting? Are you doing any specialties, hazmat, TRT, USAR?
Yeah, so it's funny. When I left Marion County, I was on this projection to promote as fast as possible, be the firefighter that would just hit a rank, promote, hit a rank, promote. And now my mindset, through obviously the shortcomings that I've experienced recently, has changed to developing Julian into the position. And then when that position is developed fully with myself, I'll move on. I believe that promoting young is important, but for me, there's no rush, right? My timeline has completely shifted with everything that's happened to me in my life so far. I used to be on a fast track, and now I want to actually experience each position, and I want to experience leadership under the right officer at the firefighter rank, right? So that when I do promote, I know what's right. And I know what's wrong. And I believe at Palm Beach, at least, I need to still prove that, I am worthy of that next position. And I haven't proven that yet.
All right. You never think you're going to be ready. I would just, man, jump on it when you can. I mean, work for some people where I'm just like, I can't work for this officer because I didn't think they were capable of doing the job.
Right.
So that kind of fast tracked my promotion, because I was just like, I can't do this, because there was just some people who I felt were unsafe, or just maybe they were just there for a check.
Right.
They weren't into the job, and they weren't great mentors. So you seek out those battalions or those mentors where, you know, those guys, they get it. And that's where I ended up working, and,
right.
and that's what helped me.
So that's the thing with Palm Beach. At least it's a bid system, so you go with time on. So I'm coming to the point now where I should be able to pick where I end up, and I should be able to get under an officer that is very driven and like-minded to where I'm at. I think as a firefighter, you only have so much leadership leeway, as I like to put it, where you can push people in certain directions. But at the end of the day, in the fire department, the company officer is that tip of the spear. And if they're not leading, it doesn't matter. If they are leading, they're going to lead that ship or that crew into the horizon, into just a direction that everybody's growing. If they're not that type of person, they're just going to hold everybody back.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they're going to basically create a wall, and nobody's moving past this wall. Doesn't mean that everybody behind that wall can't grow, get better, but at the end of the day, you need that company officer to be elite, to move forward and to grow everybody in the direction of the next promotion, the next class, the next, to be better person outside of the fire service, in all areas. That company officer is essential, I think, across the fire service. So,
do you do anything special in the fire service? I think you were a smoke diver.
Yeah, that's one of the special things that I've been, very, very fortunate to be a part of. So the smoke diver program is a class held in Ocala, Florida, once a year, and I completed that program in 2019.
What made you want to do that?
So it's funny because my godfather is a smoke diver, and he told me when I passed fire school, he's a man of few words, so when he speaks, you listen. He told me, this is the minimum standard. Congratulations, you've done just enough to become a firefighter. You're not a real fireman until you become a smoke diver, right? So I start my career, and I meet people that are smoke divers, and I meet these people that are not only amazing firefighters, great athletes, but they're great men, they're great leaders, and they're great husbands, they're great fathers. And I'm like, I want to be like that. You know what I mean? The confidence that these guys portrayed was unmatched. I could never see it in any other firefighter. And I'm like, is it just the hat? Did they just put the hat on? And it's just like, that's where the confidence comes from. And obviously, being ignorant, it's from the work, right? And that's the beautiful thing about the smoke diver program, is you see somebody with that hat, it's nothing but respect, because it was not given. It was earned. It was earned. And in the society we live today, unfortunately, many things are given. And it's sad to say. But when something's earned, you walk different. Like when it comes to earning anything, a paycheck, buying your first house, whatever the case, a goal, any goal that you achieve, that you had to eat shit for a long time before that goal was achieved, it affects you differently. And that's how that program is. People don't understand. They think it's something you thump your chest with, and it's not that at all, man. It's putting yourself in a situation where you're not getting a pay raise, where the likelihood of you getting hurt is very high. The likelihood of you succeeding is very low. So why do it? And those are the reasons right there. Those are the reasons why anybody should do it, is because you are a part of a community that is very, very selective, right? And you were chosen to be a part of that community, not by how nice you are, not by how athletic you are, but meeting the standard that we call it, and actually earning your place at the table, not just showing up and being present, which I think our line of service has rewarded many people for not being individuals in the standpoint of having their own perspective, having their own opinion, standing up for what's right and what's wrong, but rewarding people for just showing up.
Just showing up. Employees, not firefighters.
That's it.
And how was that experience for somebody who's never experienced it? What'd you do to get ready? How were you physically?
So I'll be honest with you. I'll never forget. We have this program in Palm Beach, which is rigorous. Shout out to Chief Coyle. It's called the Paramedic Development Course, PDC. It is rigorous in Palm Beach County. I believe that in the country, if you have a medical emergency in the country and it happens in Palm Beach, you will receive the highest level of care. I know that for a fact because of the standard he has set from the EMS side of our department. And I'm very grateful to have had him teach me and that he has never dropped that standard. So that was in July. End of July, I finished PDC, right? Graduated. The day I graduated, took my final scenario. We finished around lunch. I put my gear on and went and did a stair climb. Or not a stair climb, I burned a bottle. There's a difference. I burned a bottle. So you should be able to get anywhere between 60 flights to 70 flights in full gear on air. I think I got 45. And I died.
That's still respectable.
Yeah,
that's still respectable.
It was all right. But I died. I mean, it was a point where I was like, man, you're out of shape, right? So from August to the first week of December was smoke divers. We went into the lab. I mean, we just fully committed. We were in gear 3 to 4 times a week. We were training probably 9 times a week total. Two a days. Some 2 a days. 2 a days. A lot of MRFs. A lot of running,
some body weight movements and some running because they probably don't have barbells and
no. You really actually no. I did not lift. I didn't lift a single weight for 5 months. I didn't lift a single weight. I was in my gear a lot and body weight stuff. So the training was just commitment to understanding what I was gonna do. Right. Obviously, your entrance test is push-ups, sit-ups, and a mile run. So I got very good at that, and then being very comfortable with air consumption and being very comfortable in working in my gear in all environments, right? Climbing stairs, dragging, bear crawling, making sure my core was sound when it came to mountain climbers, flutter kicks, making sure my shoulders were strong with overhead presses, overhead holds, stuff that relates to the job, right? The problem is people think that this is a fitness class, and we've had guys show up from other states that are CrossFit champions.
Yeah.
Champions. And then there are animals in the realm of CrossFit. And these guys can't do 50 push-ups straight. You know, these guys, you put them in gear, they can't do a pull-up, right? And people say, well, why is a pull-up? You'll never do a pull-up in a fire. It's not the point, right? It's a test. It's an obstacle in front of a firefighter. And the class in itself is just a test. It's to see your mental and physical fortitude. And people think that, like I said, it's a chest dumping thing, and it's not. It's an obstacle. It's a test. So if you're telling me you can't do a pull-up in gear, does that mean you're not a good firefighter? No, it doesn't. No. It just means you couldn't get over that obstacle in this program, you know? So, and it's one of those things. Every obstacle gives you that confidence of, I overcame so much. I know how far I can go, and I know my limits.
And you just find a way, because if I come across something, whatever it may be, if I suck at it, I'm going to get better at it. And that's just my mentality that, I just got to get better. Because I'll give you an example. I did Waterpalooza, which is a competition, CrossFit competition. And that's when I was introduced to the assault bike.
That's nasty.
I got off that shit with jelly legs. And this thing sucked so bad I went and bought one.
I love it.
And I was like, fuck this shit. This is not going to happen again.
Right.
And now I love it. I just made it I made my weakness into a strength.
Right.
And that's what I do with anything.
And I think that's something society is unaware of, is they shy away from things they're not good at. The other day I talked to this guy. He's like, man, I'm not good at running. It's easy for you. I said, dude, the first time I ran a mile, it took me 18 minutes. And running, and me saying ran a mile, I ran maybe half of it.
Yeah.
18 minutes. Oh, but didn't you just run 100 miles in Leadville? And didn't you run another 100? I'm like, that's a 10-year project. That's 10 years of
it's a process.
Of Julian being in the process of training, of not accepting to be bad at something and stay there.
Yes.
Like, I think people don't understand that. They think, oh, well, they're just lucky, or they have genetics, or they have this, or Elon Musk is this. And it's just like, they just never accepted failure. You know what I mean? They understood it. They were like, okay, I failed, but they didn't let that hinder their future actions. And a lot of people, they freeze when they fail. They freeze and they say, this isn't for me. No, it's not for you right now, but it could be. You could be the next LeBron James, Michael Jordan, you know?
Never know. They're about to get swept. No, I like MJ and Jordan and MJ and LeBron. But how does the process work as far as once you go through it? Do you ever go back to see if are you allowed to go a second time? Do you go back as an instructor? Is that something like that available?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Our program is different because our program got shut down for a very long time. And it got shut down due to the process we had of individuals coming in. And so now we have, don't quote me, man, I think we've hit 100. We have 100 new smoke divers from the year of 2013 to now. Compared to other programs like Georgia, Indiana, Oklahoma, all these other programs. I don't know anything about those programs, so I don't speak much about them. But they have a lot of help from what it looks like. Where the Florida program, it's ran with graduates.
Oh, really?
We run, so there's the lead instructors are the guys that have the most time on and are most familiar with the program. But as far as a program being conducted and put together, logistics, cleanup, and obviously assisting lead instructors, that's all run by graduates. Nobody gets paid except a few people, and it's really all volunteer.
So they're there for the right reason.
100%. And that goes to show you how much impact our program has on the individual and why it's more than a class, right?
Yeah.
It really is. It's more than a class. It's more than a shirt. It's more than a hat. It's who we are. You know what I mean? It's who we are. It's how we walk. And none of us are perfect. I think all of us have, strengths and weaknesses just like everybody else. But the one thing that we do have is heart, and our passion is unmatched, right? Any smoke diver's passion is unmatched. You're not going to find a guy who gives up 6 to 8 months of his life for a program that is $250 and you get a hat and a t-shirt. That's all you get. And the name. That's all you get, right? The thing about being a Navy SEAL or one of these high operators is you get to go actually operate. You get to actually hey, okay, congratulations, you passed BUDS. We're gonna get you through a couple classes, so in 2-3 years you'll be a full-fledged Navy SEAL. Awesome. Send you out to your SEAL team. You're gonna go through tests. When you pass the test, you're now eligible to deploy. Great. Now you have the opportunity to go be a Navy SEAL.
Yes.
Where a smoke diver, you go back to your department, and now it's your time to be at what we're known as force multipliers, right? Is getting the individuals from not caring to caring and being assets, right? That's the goal. Yeah. Not to get them to be smoke divers, right?
Right. They don't have to be at that level.
I've struggled with that, Rick, so much personally, is expecting the elite level of thinking and performance that I put on myself, right? It's not realistic, and I should never expect that upon anybody. I have a quote that I live by now, and it's have a high standard for yourself and be very tolerant with others.
Boom.
It's just, you have to live that way. And now I just am very, very, very tolerant with other people. What I have no room for is people who don't have heart, because that's just unacceptable. In this profession, you got to have heart. That's just heart. And I made a post about it today, and an attitude. You can't have a bad attitude in this profession. As soon as adversity hits on the road or in life, you're useless. You're a liability. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just, we can't have it. So.
When we do the CPAT training, and some guys, everybody knows the step mill. They would get off and they're like, all right, I'm done. And you look at them and they're not breathing hard. They're not sweating. They're not fucking wheezing. I had the mindset that I'm going to fall off of this machine because I wasn't going to stop. Even though I knew I was in shape, I got there ready. And people, they were quitting it. They're not even breathing hard. And you're like, what do you mean you're done? You didn't put any effort into it.
It goes to show you. And if they falter there, I mean, put them in the road. There's no room for it. And I think we were talking earlier about the standard being dropped. That goes to show. You know what I mean? You put any administrator in front of somebody that displays that cowardism, that lack of giving a shit.
Do you want that person coming to your house?
Do you want that person representing what you represent? Not even going to your house. They put on a t-shirt That's not their t-shirt. That's your t-shirt. How long have you been here? 20, 30 years?
They represent the fire service.
The fire service, exactly. And I'm not perfect, man. Like I said, Rick, I've made some mistakes, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have still the opportunity to be a firefighter and to serve. Not only, and let's talk about that service. I think when we get hired or we sign up for this, we think of service as running into burning buildings and helping the citizens, right? And unfortunately, that's 3 to 5% of what the service really means. I think the service truly is to each other. And our mindset as a fire service whole needs to change quickly. That, yes, we need to be there for the citizens, but how are we going to be more of an asset to the citizens and less to the guys and girls we work with? Like that, to me, that blows my mind. Like how, like literally, like I work with you, but yet your stuff's in the dryer. I grab your stuff and I throw it on top of the dryer. Like the lack of respect and trust. Next call I go out, I'll die for the citizen. How does that make any sense? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you took the oath to do that for sure, but you work with this person.
Right.
Like, that's supposed to be your first line of family. The citizens are important, but we can't neglect the people we work with. And I get it, man. We have so many personalities. We have so many. It's hard. It's hard. I get it. You know what I mean? It really is. But there's people I hate that I love. You know.
We got to be able to work with each other, regardless. We don't have to be friends sometimes, but we got to be able to work with each other. So let's talk about how I met, man. I know I saw your stuff on Instagram, and I saw your posting your workouts and your training. I was like, man, I like the message. I like what he's doing. I definitely got to get a hold of this guy, and we definitely got to work out or do a podcast. I got to do something, man. So how did you become a trainer and doing your fitness?
Yeah, so it's funny because I one day worked with a guy that was terrible. He was terrible. I'm just going to be honest with you. He was terrible. And we started talking about the Recruit Academy and the Fire College and the standard of the CPAT and this and that. And I'm like, who's training these guys before that? Is there any trainers out there? So I looked online, and there's programs, and we have John Sparrow, who he has built a community. Shout out to John Sparrow, Fit to Fight Fire.
Fit to Fight
Fire.
Fire
has created a blueprint that is unmatched of faith, work ethic, and just being all in. Right?
Florida guy. I don't know where he was born, but we went to the academy together, so I definitely know John for a long time.
Yeah, he's an amazing person and a great firefighter, great husband, great leader. But outside of that, there wasn't the one-on-one. There wasn't the person of like that actually would coach you. Not just, and I tell everybody, I talked to somebody today on a sales call. I want to get in shape. I said, okay, I understand that. I said, but this isn't a one-stop shop, man. I don't want to just get you in shape. I want you to show up understanding what the expectation is.
Yes.
And I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you over the next 12 weeks, right? We're going to talk mindset. We're going to talk fitness. We're going to talk mental health. We're going to talk nutrition, hydration. And you're going to be the person that shows up that somebody's going to say, someone coached you. So you know more than all these other people, right? And shout out to everybody that's on my program. You invested in yourself. Congratulations. Welcome to the winner circle, like I like to say it. Boom. The winner circle is people who invest in themselves because you feel you're important enough to be invested in. And that's the problem we have today is people don't view the world that way. They want handouts, and they think that, well, I am who I am, and this is the best it is. And that's not the truth. That's the furthest thing from the truth. So I train firefighters and firefighters in training. Firefighters specifically, you get the whole gambit, right? We're gonna get you fit. We're gonna teach you the mindset that you need, because being physically fit and being mentally resilient are two different things. I could take you in a gym, you could do 225 for 10 reps, but I could take you outside and say, hey, we're gonna bear crawl. And that's it.
Game changer.
That's it. And that's just the mindset. But we don't know how long, we don't know how far. And that's the whole point, is you're gonna bear crawl until one of us quits. And then we're gonna go a little farther, right? And that's the mindset difference. So we'll coach you in that. Hydration, nutrition, that's super important in this career path. It's different than anything else because of the gear we wear, the elements that we're exposed to. So that's something that's very unique. And then above all else, create a plan for you to get hired, right? There's so many obstacles in the way, and if you have somebody that's been through the process multiple times, we can time collapse a lot of things and overcome obstacles a lot faster than if you did it on your own. So we would create a plan, understand where you're at in the country. I mean, Rick, I've coached people New York, Texas, California, Oregon, Hawaii, Florida, obviously, Georgia, North Carolina, all over, right? And we just create a plan, they stick to the plan, and they get hired. And that's what we do. As far as firefighters on the line, we get them back in control of their life, right?
Yeah.
They want to be the person that they once were, if not better. And having a coach I hold you accountable. I teach you the way. And I ultimately teach you the habits and the discipline to not just be in shape for the 12 weeks, but to be healthy for life, right? And it's funny because I was with the Standards kids a couple days ago in Ocala, and we ran PT, and I left them with this. I said, I want you guys to repeat after me. I will be physically fit until the day I die, right? And fire service is so funny. People are like, oh, you got to be fit for the job. You have to be fit for life, you know? But someone asked me the other day, how many times have you been injured? It's like, I can't even tell. I don't get injured, Rick. Why? Because I focus on so many avenues of fitness to make sure I'm strong in mind, body, and spirit. And I'm not just lifting weights. I'm not just running. I don't just put on my gear during training. Like I put myself in situations where I have a strong body. And I think that's important for life. You look at so many people who get injured. Another person I want you to have on the podcast, Anthony Gillen, he took a Halligan to the head from a 24-foot ladder. Spinal injury that was so severe. Most people would never walk again. We just had dinner the other day. He'll be back on a fire truck within 6 months.
Awesome.
Unbelievable. A lifetime of fitness in mind, body, and spirit. Right? He trained his entire life for that moment. The surgeon literally said, if you were not fit, you would have died, let alone recovered. So, I don't know much people, everybody knows who Kevin Hart is. He rolled his car, had to have back surgery. The surgeon literally said, if your core was not as strong as it was from your training, you would never walk again. So it's so much bigger than this job. Obviously, this job is specific because we have to be fit for the job. Like, that's not a suggestion. It's a requirement. And we've lost that mindset that it's a requirement. But, I mean, as people who are assets in communities, it's a requirement to be physically fit in that realm as well. Like, we have an apocalypse and we don't have these easy Uber Eats and cars, and we're going to see who's fit and who's not, right? Can you walk 5 miles down the road to get food, right? Can you go catch your own food? Like we've lost our way in that aspect. So back to what I was saying with coaching, I coach firefighters in training and firefighters. So
that's awesome, man. 'Cause I wish I had something like that when I was going through the fire service. I didn't know, because it's not like you apply for a job, they call you back a week later or whatever it is, and you go for an interview and you're hired. There are so many steps and obstacles that you have to go through: the physical, the medical, the polygraph, everything. And it's a process that can take a couple months or it could take a couple years. And glad that you're showing people the way. And as far as like back, man, that's something that there's some people that complain about having a bad day. I've had 2 back surgeries, and I know what it sucks. And there's some days that I can't do shit. And there's just some days where I just got to check my ego and say, you know what, I just got to walk today. And then I've slowly built myself back up, and I try not to use that as an excuse, even though sometimes I do. But it's you just got to put in work.
That's it. And I think the biggest thing with anybody, no matter your age, because I get that too, in the fire service, the guys, oh, wait till you're 40, wait till you have kids, wait till you have this, wait till you have that. And I say, guys, when I'm 40, you're going to be 60 or 55, whatever. I say, what are you going to say when you see me doing even more things from the physical statute? Like, what do you say then? Because I'm sorry, man, you're right. What I don't have is your age. I don't have a family. But when I do, what's your excuse then? Because it sounds like an excuse. You know what I mean? I definitely know athletes that are older, and there's a difference. But motion's the lotion, man. You got to keep moving.
Move.
You got it. When you stop moving, you die, right? And
I'm in pain whether I don't do anything or do anything, so I might as well be in fucking shape.
Right, 100%. And I know it's coming, man. Like they mess with me all the time. You only have so much meniscus, with all the running I do, and
Gone.
You're right, gone. You know what
Disc
I mean?
gone.
That's it. And everybody knows who David Goggins is and how far he's pushed himself. If that guy, with what he's done, is still running, I'm gonna be just fine.
His story is sick. His story is just sick. I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But hey man, good sitting down with you and chatting, man. And where can people find you?
Yeah, Prepare to Fight Fire, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you don't want to be coached by me, I will bring value every day on those platforms in one form or the other that will make you a better person, a better firefighter, and a better man. So,
love it, man. Glad we got a chance to sit down and maybe we'll do a little workout or something.